Today I just kind of wanted to talk about what program I did today. Actually, I didn't do an actual program because tomorrow I am starting a new program that's only going to be 20 minutes per day, which I am excited about. And so today I went ahead and I went back to where it all began for me. And so my journey began back in 2015 when I could barely get around. I was over 160 pounds overweight. I was definitely obese and immobile, as I stated. My chronic pain level was through the roof. Anxiety, depression, anger, you name it. I felt it. I had it. Just getting around, walking on my feet was excruciating. And I used to walk around like Frankenstein most days because of the pain and lack of flexibility and stuff like that. It took a strength that I never knew existed to begin my journey. I understand now that a higher power was at work within my life. I started with the fasciablaster as my cardio sessions. I spent most days, if not every day, blasting for over an hour. And so yeah, that became my cardio, and I would get a good sweat. And people often have asked me how I was even able to use it so often due to the pain that the blaster left afterwards, including the pain of my existing pain. But I simply stated, because I've realized that the pain will always exist, no matter what I did. But if I'm doing something that was productive, that gets me closer to my dreams, then I'm going to do it. And besides, the pain of regret hurts so much more. So eventually I was able to use my elliptical, and it was for 1 minute here and 1 minute there at first. But before I knew it, I was blasting and exercising on my elliptical for over an hour each time and each day. So that's what I chose to do today. I went back to where it all began, with my blasting and my elliptical. But today I was a bit nervous because I hadn't used it since I became a coach, which was over a year ago. You know how it is when you haven't done something in a long time. It's just hard. And besides, I have never been a great runner or doing anything physical outside because of my asthma. So that's what I thought about today before I began, was my asthma and how difficult it was going to be using my elliptical. Because when I was a child, my mom used to tell me, watch out for this, watch out for that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not placing blame on my mother. We all have a path that teaches us, and it's up to us to decide what to do with it. But anyways, that was always in my head when I was growing up during PE classes or anything outdoors, anything physical, which guess what? It prevented me from doing anything fun. I always came up with an excuse that I was sick, that something was going on, that I just couldn't do it. Always a reason why I just could not complete this task. I didn't make the right choices. I listened way too much about what others were telling me instead of my inner voice. But guess what happened today after not being on it for over a year? I did way better with controlling my breathing to stay in the fat burning zone than I ever have in over a year, 3 years or so, possibly. and I didn't have one asthma attack today, which is a huge surprise because I always have an attack during any physical activity. Even when I laugh, I have an asthma attack. Here's the thing, guys. Your beliefs about what you can't or can do affects everything. It even affects your health. It affects your success. It affects everything.